Shorty's love is like a pyramid. We stand together to the very end. There'll never be another love for sure. Ayaz Asharis, let we go.
Stones, heavy like the love you've shown, solid as the ground we've known, and I just wanna carry on.
Good morning, Miss Lojana and friends. My name is Adrian, and me and my friends who are Colby, Theai, and Boon are going to talk about the Pyramid of Giza. Before my friends get to their topics, I'm going to talk about facts regarding the Pyramid of Giza. What makes it so special, and a little story about it so that you all will get an understanding of the Great Pyramid of Giza. After our speech, I hope you all would get a better understanding about the Pyramid of Giza. To start off my speech, I know that what you all are thinking, why is the pyramid so fascinating? With every structure looking the same, it's just the same. Why is it so fascinating? Without these structures, who knows? Maybe even Summit Pyramid, which we all go quite frequently, will not be even around. Well, do you all know that the Pyramid of Giza is one of the 7 wonders of the ancient world? And that it is so special, even the movie everyone craved for, Transformers, was also filmed there. If not, then listen up, as I am gonna tell you the reason why. But bear with me for a moment, because it will be like listening to a history lesson. Even though it has a lot of its white limestones and temples around there that have fallen into ruin, the sheer size of these enormous structures still amazes the visitors. This pyramid stands out as one of the most astonishing achievements in history, but till today, the method by ancient builders are a matter of some controversy. There are actually more than 80 pyramids in Egypt which were built over a period around 1,000 years. But those at Giza are the largest and among the preserved pyramids thanks to the solidity of the construction and the bulkiness of it. The Giza pyramids were built by 3 kings who are Cheops, Chephren, and Mycerinus. The Pyramid of Khufu is the largest and is known as the Great Pyramid for over 4,000 years. Yeah, I'm talking about 4 with a 000 behind it. It's the tallest building structure in the world. The next thing I'm going to talk about is the point and meaning of these building structures in those days. The Egyptian pyramid of the Old and Middle Kingdom were superstructures for the royal tombs. The solidity and bulkiness of the pyramids were designed to protect the king's body, but the choice of the pyramidal shape must also have been governed by symbolic considerations. It was intended to assist the king in his ascension to the heavens, and the shape is often interpreted as the ramp up to the skies. Moreover, the pyramidal shape may be a solar symbol, representing the solid form of the oblique rays of the sunlight, which are sometimes seen breaking through the clouds. Lastly, the pyramid itself was only one part of the royal burial complex. Each pyramid stood in an enclosure with a mortuary temples on its east side, and there was also valley temples near river which was linked to the upper temple. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Theai. Today, I would like to give a talk about one of the famous seven wonders, the Great Pyramid of Giza, which is still standing from 2550 before century until today. After my friend Adrian had briefed through the historical background of the country clearly, I would like to touch about the structure and layout of it. Basically, I would like to present about the layout of the pyramid site, preparation of the pyramid site, internal layout of the pyramid, and how mysterious it is.
We stand together to the very end.
It should take about 8 minutes. If you have any question, please feel free to interrupt. First of all, I would like to talk about the layout of the pyramid site. It seems there was a great care taken in choosing an appropriate site.
Stones, heavy like the love you've shown.
The Giza Plateau was probably selected because it holds a commanding position above the Nile Valley and was on the west bank. According to my research, Egyptians traditionally buried the dead and west as it was associated with the setting sun and with death. In addition, the limestone ridge provided a solid foundation for a massive work of the structure and also ample material for building their solid cores. Next, I would like to touch about the preparation of construction. Work began with the rough laying out and leveling of the area to provide a good fitting. The Egyptians seem to have used simple tools such as square levels and plumb lines, but were able to achieve an astonishing degrees of accuracy. It was really impressive. The level of the pavement around the Khufu pyramids varies by only some 2 centimeters. On the other words, it was just about 0.78 inch. Although the areas around the pyramid base was cut down to provide a level foundation, the natural rock inside the perimeter was left intact to form a course for the lowest courses of masonry. After that, the surveyor could begin to lay out an accurate square for the base of the pyramid. Each pyramid was carefully aligned so the side faced the 4 cardinal directions. Then, I would like to brief through the internal layout of the pyramid. The figure shows the basic layout inside of the pyramid. It consists of 3 main chambers, which are King's Chamber, Queen's Chamber, and Subterranean Chamber. The Subterranean Chamber is located at the end of the descending passages. It had been blocked nowadays because it looks more like gutters for waters than passageway for people. It is an interesting part as nobody knows what purpose this underground structure serves. So, tourists and visitors are able to enter the pyramid by going up the ascending passage. The pathway is hard to pass through as it was only 3.65 feet wide and 3.11 feet in height. The following chambers will be Queen Chambers. It lies directly under the apex of the pyramid, which is probably significant, but nobody knows why. There are 2 ventilation shafts that are blocked both faces to the south. The King Chambers was then lies on the top of it, near the tops of the pyramids. It appeared to have been built as a double square, and a guardian coffer lies within the King Chambers. The coffer is a masterpiece of the craftsmanship and was apparently drilled at there as it was too big to fit through the doorway to the chambers. Furthermore, there may be an opening to another chamber or passageway in the area because the westward joint of the King Chambers are much more bigger than others. It also consists 2 shafts, but unlike Queen Chambers, this goes all the way to the outside and of the pyramid. The floor of the King Chamber sits above the lowest courses of most stone is also an unknown significance. Lastly, I would like to talk about the mysterious of the layout of the pyramid site. In recent years, there have been several attempts to attribute significance to the diagonal layout of the three major pyramids at Giza. It is extremely unlikely that there is any underlying master plan. The pyramids were actually built at different times and as separate projects. Moreover, the pyramid enclosures are not linked together as one would expect had the overall plan been important. The pyramids are all aligned to the true north, and each was therefore built obliquely to the edge of the plateau and set back from the preceding monument, both to keep to the ridge and also to provide a clear view to the North Star for accurate alignment. As a conclusion, this shows a very first point that how knowledgeable the ancients were about the true how impressive of the structure and layout of the global placement of the Great Pyramid of Giza had become the highest and most accurate earth model of the modern age. But how the Egyptians achieve such great accuracy is still under until today. Thank you.
Hello everybody, it's good to see you today. My name is Boon and I am now presenting the topic about the building materials of the Great Pyramid of Giza. I guess many of you are wondering about the material used to build the pyramid. Don't worry, keep calm and listen, then you will be more understand it after listen to my presentation. Building material are any material which is used for construction purpose. Many naturally occurring substances such as clay, rocks, sand and wood, even twigs and leaves have been used to construct buildings. Apart from naturally occurring materials, many man-made products are in use. Some more and more or less synthetic. The manufacture of building materials is an established industry in many countries, and the use of this material is typically segmented into specially trades such as carpentry, installation, plumbing, and roofing work. Besides that, let's talk about the basic material of the pyramid. It was the limestone, white casing stone, and granite.
Like a pyramid. We stand together to the very end. There'll never be another love for sure. Let we go.
Sorry. They were used to line up the chamber inside. About 2.3 million limestone blocks were used to build the pyramid, most of which was quarried locally. The limestone blocks, which with most believed to have been transferred from nearby quarries. The Tura limestone used for the casing was quarried across the river. Next, I would like to share with you about the interior of the pyramid structure. There was a passage from the original from the entrance which called descending passage. It is the beginning of the ascending passage, originally concealed with a slab of stone, and the lower end of the ascending passage was crossed by 3 huge blocks of granite. Moreover, the pyramid were also built with other different stone material. Basically, most of the material used was very rough, low-grade limestone used to build the pyramid core, while fine white limestone was often employed for the outer casing as well as to cover interior walls. Turpin granite was also often used on inner walls. Basalt or alabaster was not uncommon for floors, particularly in the Mochural temple, and as was marked bricks to build walls within the temples. According to the report from the explorer of the pyramid, there were two important chambers in the pyramid. It was the king chamber and the queen chamber. The king chamber was a room which located near to the top of the pyramid, and it was entirely faced with lost granite from Aswan.
That's all.
Good morning, I'm Colby. Today, my topic that I'll be talking about will be the ornamentations used to decorate the Great Pyramid of Giza. Firstly, I'll talk about the Sphinx. What is a Sphinx anyways? Well, the Sphinx is actually a mythical creature with, as a minimum, the body of a lion and a human head. There are many variations of the Sphinx beside from the Egyptian one, such as the Greek Sphinx, the Sphinx from the South and Southeast Asia. The Egyptian Sphinx is typically shown as a man or an androsphinx. In addition, the Egyptian Sphinx was viewed as benevolent in contrast to the malevolent Greek version, as was thought of a guardian often flanking the entrances of temples. The largest and most famous Sphinx is the Great Sphinx of Giza, sited at Giza Plateau, adjacent to the Great Pyramids of Giza on the west bank of Nile River, facing due east. The Sphinx is located in the north and below the pyramids. Although the date of its construction is uncertain, the head of the Great Sphinx now is believed to be the head of the Pharaoh Khafra. Next, I'm going to talk about the Great Pyramid text. Hieroglyphs. Egyptian hieroglyphs were a formal writing system used by the ancient Egyptians that combined logographic and alphabetic elements. Egyptians used cursive hieroglyphs for religious literature on papyrus and wood. The word hieroglyph comes from the Greek adjective hieroglyphicus, a compound of hiero as in sacred and glyph as in carve or engrave. Turn in a calque or Egyptian god's word. Every upper passage, chamber, gallery, and shaft inside the Great Pyramid of Giza is incredibly old, unmistakable, megalithic. Hieroglyph for the words Seva and Rat. For ensoling star, door, and tunnel opening gate. Besides that, coffin text is also a form of ornamentation. The coffin texts are a collection of ancient Egyptian funerary spells written on coffins beginning in the First Intermediate period. The texts are derived in part of the earlier pyramid texts.
I'ma show you that I love you so much that we gonna get through.
Reserved for royal use, but they contain substantial new material related to everyday desires that reflect the part of the text were now used by the common people. Ordinary Egyptians who could afford to have a coffin had access to his funerary. Spells and the pharaoh no longer had exclusive rights to the afterlife. As a modern name of this collection, of some 1,185 spells implies. These texts mostly found on Middle Kingdom coffins. However, they are sometimes inscribed on tomb walls and even mummy masks. The spells in the coffin text allow the deceased to protect themselves against the dangers of the afterlife.
Walls of love, packing more than enough, holding on to one another, be the cover when it's rough. Mother Nature, a disaster, won't stop a happy ever after.
The Great Pyramid of Giza, the oldest, the grandest of the 7 wonders of the ancient world. The only one of these wonders to survive, bringing with it the dignity of age. The Arabs have a saying, "The world fears time, but time fears the pyramids." In the 4,000 years since the Great Pyramid was built, 1.5 million sunrises have cast their shadow across the sand. 200 generations have played at its feet, much like the children of today. History has etched its mark upon the face of the Great Pyramid. There are 3 major pyramids that stand on the rock outcropping known as the Giza Plateau. From this prominent position, they offer a commanding view of the Nile Delta, that fertile lowland stretching toward the Mediterranean. The last of these monuments to be built, and the smallest, is the tomb of a king named Menkura. Some 600 feet to its north, another pyramid towers above it. Larger and more impressive, it is the tomb of Menkura's father, Khephren. Part of the original casing still clings to its top. To the east, the Sphinx gazes toward the sunrise. Tradition speaks of hidden passages that might have joined the Sphinx to the second pyramid. Mystical worship is said to have found expression in these now silent monuments. To the north stands the oldest and the largest pyramid. The unanimous voice of its many visitors names it the Great Pyramid.